Shabbat Shalom, Yisrael, and Shalom Truth Seekers. My name is the boy Yahweh by Yahweh. Welcome to Yahweh's Word. So I'm going to talk about actually a comment that was posted on my latest video, and it dawned on me how much I used to like making videos that was more relatable in regards to scriptures and so forth. So the comment was not a disrespectful one, it was a honest one, a straight to the point one, and I like to say I got put in my place in a sense, because I have in times past been very literal, almost like a Shaul, who was commonly known as Paul the Apostle. Shaul the Shaliach in Yahweh's renewed covenant, he was infamous for unrighteously murdering set apart believers. Okay, it got to a point where Yahweh had to put him in his place, and his definition of man-made customs faith was not in tune with Yahweh's definition of faith. We as set apart believers, just from observance, a lot of us, we come on YouTube or different platforms and we shun. We shun to a degree of running people away, running the lost sheep of Israel away. There's plenty of times in the past where I have apologized in videos and about my behavior, if I have ever been condescending or something of that nature. Through the Spirit of Yahweh, I have deleted those videos because Yahwehs Set Apart Spirit said it was okay, because he understood where I was at the time. I wasn't trying to be mean or harsh. I was just so zealous and passionate to get the righteous justice and judgment out there to the point where it just was no emotions. And that's not how his son Yahshua is. There was a time when Yahshua had to flip tables and call the religious Pharisees, the Hellenistic Jews and so forth. He had to call them robbers and thieves. Like, what are you doing in my set apart temple, in my father's set apart temple? But for the most part, Yahshua spoke with calmness, gentleness, respect. That is in 1 Peter 3:15. And through that comment, it really made me realize how I used to address people, address family members, and about Yahweh's faith, Yahweh's set apart faith. And that wasn't the way that I addressed people in times past, was not from him. It came off hostile and mean and very religious, because the word religious ultimately means to bind. Yahweh's Torah Hebrew, his renewed covenant, is not a bindful constitution. However, man-made customs and traditions have turned his scriptures into a religion. It has turned it into binding things. It does take us to a degree to let go of the flesh, die daily to this flesh, in order to realize that his word is not a burden. Because Father Yahweh's constitution is desirable. It is pleasurable. That's what Adon or Eden means. Eden means desire. So Adam and Hava, Adam and Eve, they had everything that Yahweh, gave them everything. It was a desire to follow his mitzvot, his commandments. Thou shalt eat off every tree, but other than the tree of knowledge of good and evil. During this Shabbat, I'm just really taking an examination and meditating on some Yahweh in our time, and I'm really blessed and humbled to have received such a comment, because I knew in times past my behavior has ran people away from me, unfortunately. But I love the fact that he allowed me to have his wisdom and his understanding to grow from it, and to have the courage and the willpower to humble myself and apologize in public to those people. You know, we are all learning, and we all fall short of something. You know, we can learn from righteous men and righteous women. Abraham, who was a righteous prince, perfect in the path of righteousness for Yahweh during his time. He listened to his princess, righteous wife, Sarah, who mistakenly made a decision to lay with her worldly handmaid. You know, Abraham didn't go into prayer to Yahweh and to finalize that situation. King David, righteous in the sight of Yahweh, he committed adultery. Who else? Samson, he was a righteous judge, very strong, physically strong. But ultimately, he got his eyes gouged out because he was lusting after the eyes, lusting after the flesh. Trying to think of somebody else. Moshe, a righteous teacher. Yahweh said in his word that he was the most humble and righteous man on earth at that time. He was highly favored. He let Miriam and Aaron know that, and he let everybody else knew that. Moshe didn't get to the promised land. But guess what? Righteous men and women, they take teshuva, they turn back to Yahweh, they repented. So it's not easy for us to go cold turkey. It's not easy for us to go cold turkey in certain areas than it is for another person. And one thing that I appreciate that I learned from my mother is learning to meet people where they are. It's not to lower our standards as set apart believers. It's not to lower the constitution of Yahweh. Well, 1 Peter 3:15 says to stand firm in Yahweh's ways with gentleness and respect. My mother stood by me when I was living a life of promiscuity, of drunkenness, of you name it. She stood by me. She didn't shun me. She didn't dishonor me. Yahweh's love, his mercy stood deep within my mother. And here I am now following Yahweh's path of righteousness years later. And that comment that was addressed to me, it got to me because it put me in my place, which I don't mind. But it also, again, made me think of how I used to address people. And how our tone to the words and our body posture, how we address people means a lot. We can be very honest and literal, and our body language can be very nonchalant or impersonal. I like to use that example in work environments. You can be very literal and very honest to a person, very accurate, but you can be tapping your fingers or whatever. It's something that shows the other person that maybe you are acting haughty or haughty. So it's been a journey these last 5 years. I'm not perfect. I'm not. I expressed that in the Praying for Courage video. And but I know who I am for Yahweh. I know who I am for Yahweh, Yahshua, Yahweh. And I love the fact that I get older and I learn more wisdom. I get more understanding through the favor, the chen of Father Yahweh. And I hope that you all will be blessed through these brief, subtle words that are expressed on Yahweh's Torah for Hebrew. not just this video, but all the videos, and just grow with me. So just wanted to make it short, sweet and simple, and share a little bit of words. So shalom again, Shabbat shalom, truth seekers, and Yisrael.